Hi, this is Lando Smith from Sense Memory. Tonight we're going to be having the classic Old Fashioned. And Old Fashioned was invented at the end of the 19th century by a distiller by the names of James Pepper and a bartender at the Pendennis Bar in Louisville, Kentucky. You make it by putting a sugar cube at the bottom of the glass, covering it and soaking it in bitters, then covering the sugar cube just to the top of the sugar cube with club soda. Then you add 1.5 ounces of bourbon and top that off with the ice and the maraschino cherry, and then a little bit more of the club soda. So there we have the classic and beautiful looking Old Fashioned. Reminds me of Jim Backus in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, when he was flying his airplane drunk and he wanted Mickey Rooney to take over the controls, and Mickey Rooney said, while he was going to make an Old Fashioned in the back of the plane, and Mickey Rooney said, "What if something goes wrong?" And Jim Backus said, "What could go wrong with an Old Fashioned?" Cheers. Oh, it's delicious, really. Ugh. Tonight's fragrance is the new release by Michael Kors called For Men by Michael Kors. And it just came out last week after a rocky start. It was first released in September and then pulled because there seemed to be something wrong with the formula. And they pulled it, tweaked it, fixed the problem, whatever it may have been, and it was re-released last week. It is a beautiful fragrance. I want to read to you just a little bit of what I wrote in my blog about it. For Men by Michael Kors is a melancholy, sophisticated love song, singed around the edges with a bit of a broken heart. It is smoky and moody, lush, a mix of cocktails and regret, and in the end filled with a longing for something lost and just beyond ever finding again. It is beautiful. This masculine fragrance is perfect for fall and winter. It is magnificent on a man, but boy, could a woman wear it well. It would be the olfactory equivalent of a woman wearing her boyfriend's crisp white dress shirt with a pair of jeans. Or just a shirt by itself. Effortless and elegant on both sexes, for either a formal night out, at the theater and a cold late-night supper, or simply for a sunny afternoon picnic in some place like Central Park. It works so well for any setting. That's what I love about Michael Kors' clothes, and that's what I love about his two men's fragrances. The nose is Harry Fremont, who created, among many other fragrances, CK1 for Calvin Klein, Modern Muse for Estee Lauder, Grey Vetiver Eau de Toilette for Tom Ford, and of course the two Michaels. It opens with a dominant and beautiful star anise, which shines in a kind of dark glamour. And just below that is a coriander and thyme and a little buzzing pepper that give this star anise a real sparkle. And it's kind of that signature that you'll recognize from the original fragrance. There's a bergamot here that is very, very light and almost imperceptible to my nose. But it is a wonderful addition of the elemi that adds a smoky sweetness to the fragrance. A melancholy opening that sets everything up for what is to come. And what comes is an incredible, beautiful fragrance as it moves into its mid-notes with the most wonderful twisting tendrils of incense, kind of like a cobra rising up from a snake charmer's basket. And in that basket you'll find a wreath of sage and the smoothest, richest suede note that I've smelt in a long, long time. It is simply entrancing, and here's where the beauty of the fragrance departs from the generic designer signature that you so often find in designer fragrances, and it enters into a realm of fine perfume of a classic style. The dry down comes on with a masculine lines of fine polished wood and a nearly caramelized sandalwood note that is also mixed with a rich layer of patchouli. And finally there's musk, just enough to add a light to the fade out and the final curtain of this fragrance. It really is a beautiful fragrance and it's quite sophisticated. The only problem some people might have with it is that, at least on my skin, it only lasts about 6 hours. It is beautiful nonetheless, just really gorgeous. Smoother, I think, than the original. There is some similarity, as I said in my review from my blog, but I think it takes something from the original and adds, or I should say subtracts, because the original had plum and another note that is missing in the new fragrance. But I think it's better. I really do. It's quite beautiful. And the sillage for him is I would say moderate, about out to maybe 3 feet. However, it does move closer to the skin at about 3.5 hours. It's perfect for formal occasions, but like I always say, you can kick it around in a pair of jeans if you want to. It's just that versatile. And as I've said before, I'm a proponent of the reapply. I'm not a real stickler for, oh, it's got to last 10 and 12, 24 hours, or I won't buy it. There's nothing wrong in my book with taking a little atomizer with you if you want to, and just freshening up with a little reapply at about 6 or 7 hours. That's something I do all the time. And that way I can enjoy the fragrances I love that may not have a great longevity. In the end, I would say this is really, for the price, a wonderful, wonderful buy. And definitely would recommend it to anybody out there who's interested in a sophisticated American fragrance from a great designer. So there you have it. This is Lionel Smith from Sense Memory saying, remember, wear what you love and not what they say you should like. I'll talk to you later. Cheers.